which is not possible in a few words, but I'll try my best. DTM Saju Varghese is an engineer turned entrepreneur who has been managing his IT business for last 30 years, though he doesn't look that old. He has been in UAE for last 18 years. He feels that his strengths are two. One is his confidence level, and second is his heavy voice. Confidence so that he can face any audience he likes, and voice so that he can attract their attention. So let's welcome DTM Saju Varghese.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, I started my journey in Toastmasters around 3.5 years back. I wanted to join. I went for a meeting like this almost 11 years back, but at that time I didn't join. If someone asked me, if you want to go back in your life and change something, that is the only regret I have. I should have joined Toastmasters at that time. Nothing, never too late. Today, our topic is debate. Now, the speaker who was here a few minutes back talked about debate on a couple of things. Did you listen to that? And how often we are into debate? Every time we are. That is a continuous process. So, though my today's education session will be focusing mostly on the debate competition which we conduct on the club level, then on the division level, so and the district level. So we would be handling mainly or focusing on those points today. Now, in the debate which we conduct in a club, is there any team decided on the debate team from our club? Not yet. There are a lot of aspiring people who would like to participate in the debate. Last year we had a debate team, and do we have any members here already? Oh, yes. Yes, fantastic, excellent. Okay. Now, there are different ways we conduct the debate. Now, the debate which we conduct in this particular district follows: 3 members in each team, an opener, the first person who speaks, a rebuttal, the second person who speaks from that team, and the third person who summarizes. So each person has very clear roles to meet, and that is exactly what we are going to do. I'm going to learn, in fact. So we say that you have a motion, and there is a team who will be talking for the motion. That is the affirmative team, and there will be another team who will be against the topic. Those are the negative team. So we have team affirmative and team negative. You can see affirmative A1, A2, A3, and team negative N1, N2, N3. So if you are having a debate, you will be having 1, 2, 3 on your left and 1, 2, 3 on your right. Now, how do they speak? First, it's the opener who stands up and delivers his speech, which is a constructive speech. He's the one who opens and says why this motion should happen and why the audience normally is not, okay, in our competition it is normally the judges who allocate marks, but when you speak here you should be assuming you have an audience and they are going to vote. That is the way how you speak. Once you keep that in your mind, you will be speaking according to that. Never focus on the judges and try to speak. Okay. So the first speaker A1 speaks for, say, here it is 4 minutes, the openers are 4 minutes, then the rebuttal is 3 minutes, so it changes, the rule keeps changing from places to places. So once the opener speaks, then the chance goes to the next opener from the negative team. They stand up and speak, deliver their constructive speech. Now, once that is over, it's a chance for the rebuttal. And what is the rebuttal doing? Can anyone tell me? Rebuts. Rebuts the points, the arguments which the opener said. So, now the rebuttal, so opener from the affirmative team starts here, opener from the negative team comes here. Now, normally we might think it is the rebuttal from the affirmative team. No. It will be the rebuttal from the negative team. Because if the opener, the rebuttal, if this person from the affirmative team has to rebut, there is no time for him to prepare, because the negative team just completed his speech. So, opener here, A1, then comes the negative team, then comes the negative 2, then after the affirmation is over, the rebuttal is over, it goes to the rebuttal of the affirmative team. Then it goes to the summary of the negative team, comes back into the summary of the affirmative team. So this is how it works. And today my focus is a winning debate. So how do we make a winning team, and what do they need to follow? So let us look at the constructive speech. So it is applicable to both the affirmative and negative team. Now that is what I said, starts with A1 affirmative 1 followed by the negative 1. Now at least 3 to 5 supportive facts and figure. This is what a constructive member is going to talk. Now don't give too many and dilute your argument. Very important, don't dilute the argument. Make it strong, powerful by focusing on 3 to 5 supportive facts and figures. Show subject authority and authenticity. That's very important. Now the audience need to vote for you, isn't it? Whom would they like to vote? Somebody who knows about his subject, isn't it? So that it should project from your voice, from your body language. I will clearly come to how the vocal variety should work, because all these 3 roles works differently. So show subject authority and authenticity. Crisp, clear and concise. This is very important. Crisp, clear and concise. Don't beat around the bush. Elegance matters. That's its smoothness, how it should flow. Because when you believe it and you start talking about it, the flow comes in. Now, going back into the rebuttal. This again applies to both affirmative and the negative. Now here I have put negative, affirmative starts and followed by the affirmative rebuttal. Now, this is very important. It is not, okay, if you can, if the time permits, fantastic. But when the constructive speaker speaks, note down those points and put priority on those points. Which are the major points? And you should not leave them unattended. Very important. Those key points. Sometimes their arguments will be based on 3, and just to confuse the other team, they will add 3-4 other minor points. And what happens? Many a times, if you are not experienced enough, you will catch on those minor points and waste your time. When at the time the time is over. So you need to catch hold of the major points, what it would have made difference in the mind of the audience. That is what we need to capture and do it. Show subject again, the same thing, very important. Contradict, counter and ridicule. That brings humor. Isn't it? How do you ridicule? Come on. You mean that? Now these things and make the audience, I mean, you really, this is nothing. Completely, it's absolutely unbelievable. Okay, don't get over aggressive by showing, I have seen in debate, they go to the level of, that, no, please. Okay, well, crisp, clear, concise, and thought-provoking, very important. Rebuttal is a key player because he most often steals the show. Yes, eloquence, cohesiveness matters. Eloquence is the fluency, and what is cohesiveness? Is that the way you put your ideas together, how cohesive it is. It should not be detached. It should be connected. And rebutting is generally a show stealer. He can create a real impact among the audience. So that's very important. Now, many a time we think that normally because summary, the one who summarizes, they get lesser time. And because of that, mostly we think, okay, summary is fine. And I have seen when people select their team, they feel like, okay, summary anybody can do. We have a strong opener and we have a strong rebuttal. Summary, you put anyone. Actually, it's a myth. Summary, the guy who is summarizing, he leaves a lasting impact for the audience to vote. He is the last speaker. Isn't it? He is the last speaker. So he needs to leave a lasting impact in the mind of the audience, very important. It is an absolute no. In our district competition, if you bring a new point, the one who summarized, you are marked down by the judges. So no new points. It should have been, the point should have been mentioned either by the opener or by the rebuttal. One of them. Be deliberately composed. Now the opener would have brought some beautiful points. The rebuttal would have done all the drama. He could be little aggressive, he could be little sarcastic, and all those drama he will do. Now, the summary guy, he's an appealing guy. How do you appeal? With aggression? No, it's a request. See, my team is first. I request. This has to be there, very important with the summary guy. Stating claim. So, most often summary guys don't do this. So, very clearly you need to show, it has to be, for example, I am saying, okay, the mobile phones are not a boon but a bane for the children. Let me talk. Now, when I do that, it has to be, that conviction has to be there. Now, I wouldn't say my opener and my rebuttal, they already stated that and proved that mobile phones are not a boon but a bane to children. No. It needs to come different. You know that. My opener and my rebuttal have convinced all of you that mobile phones. So there has to be, you should feel that I believe in it. It's not a detached statement because I am supposed to summarize. For everyone, that has to be, because you need to believe in it. Scale up, appeal, and play to the stance. Very important. Now, you have done all this, you have stated everything, you summarize the points, what your opener said, your rebuttal said. Now it is time to, well, now you are going to, they are ready to do the voting. You need to say that. So you need to tell them, well, we have beyond doubt proved that this particular mobile phones are not a boon but a bane to children, maybe even to the society. Now, I request every one of you to vote in favor of the motion. What is the motion? Stated mobile phones are not a boon but a bane for the children. Very clearly that motion needs to be stated. And request to the audience to pass the motion or to reject the motion. So that has to come from you. Sincerely, that is what makes the change in the voter's mind, the audience mind. Like I already told this particular point, need to be humble. Humble deliverance will make that request, because you need to be, when you are requesting, you are humble. Isn't it? Now, a must to follow things in debate, especially as per our rules and regulations for before. Every speech, whether it's an opening, whether it is a rebuttal or it's a closing, is a fulfilled speech. There has to be an opening, there has to be a body, and there has to be a conclusion. And there has to be transition from the opening, the body, to the conclusion. Very important. Just because it's a debate, you cannot change that. No. Now, rebuttal, even in rebuttal, yes, you can bring new points, but how do you bring those new points? Now that is a very, very tricky way of bringing new points. Now when you find that your opener, the rebuttal person, when he finds that his opener didn't touch some main point, or and that maybe when the opener spoke, it was not all that important, but their opener has already touched that. Now you need to bring this particular point in a different way. So you use one of the points of the rebuttal as an excuse to bring your, so catch on that and deliver your new point. Don't make it stand separately. So the new point which you bring, you get it, so you can double the benefit. You have bought a new point, as well as the judges feel, or the audience, okay, you have killed his point too. So that is the way you bring a new point. Vocal, 3 distinct vocal variety. For the one who is opener, he is more a neutral person, while the rebuttal guy is little aggressive, he could be little sarcastic. That's a totally different vocal variety. While the third one, the summary guy, is a humble request. So the body language is totally different. You cannot. That is why when we choose, you can choose the right person who matches that profile. So if somebody can be very soft-spoken guy, if you put him into rebuttal, it may not become that really good. The other rebuttal guy will come and steal the show away. Notes. Use notes. Very better when a summary guys you use, especially for the summary guy, the notes are good because you don't have much room to go out. Summary guy, very strict to that, so use notes. Now, when you address your opponents, please never call them by names. Even your people and them. Your worthy opponents is the only way. And your gesture should not be, it can be like this. The other one is not, judges won't like that. So you can say, my team member my team opener, my worthy opener, opponents, and those kind of things, languages. This is many a times recently I have been, when I was going as judges, I have seen these people altering the motion, because finally when they say they are against the topic, so they change the motion. So the mobile phones are not a boon but a bane, but instead they would say is a bane, not a. So you cannot change the motion at all. That's not allowed. Now 5 classic techniques. What we do. Claim, data, warrant. So these your points are claims. So because you have a claim, like you state the claim. Okay, this is the claim. Now, how do you, okay, you have heard just making a claim, the audience will not accept it. Will they? They are intelligent people sitting there. How they said, you need supporting data. Because such and such person stated like this in this records. Because of that, this is the data. Or having you all experienced this, that's data. Now you connect, warrant. You say that because of this data, my claim holds good. Now it works. Okay? Key claim, always be clear about your key claim. There is one claim which you will hold to because that is the winner. Okay, don't dilute that. That is the winner where you will really, because when you have got a topic, you know this is what's striking and you know this is what your opponents are going to hit. So keep that claim, hold on it. Anticipate, never take your opposition for granted. Research, if you are getting time, research on what your opponents will talk about it and then be prepared on that. Don't drop the ball means you need to, the rebuttal person need to make clear points on what the other opponent said and prioritize the points and beat them one by one. If you leave it aside, unless they are weak, this thing, I don't fall into the trap of the weak points. The main points, if you leave something unattended, now that is not appreciated by the judges. So, bring the human element, very important. When you bring that human element into the whole examples, like for example, like you're talking about your children, about the mobile phones. So I bring something very touchy for you. I ask, think of your family is going for a funeral of someone very dear to you. And you find your child sitting there and playing the mobile phone. Do you like it? And you are touching the emotional aspect of that. That gives, people love it. When you touch the emotion, they will feel like it's a kind of like they love your topic. They are inclined to vote for you. Now, this is the kind of format which we have been following in the district, and you understood few of the tips. But there is a different format which TMI is prescribing. TMI books talk about a different format. That format is called topic cross. So this, if any one of you are coming for the DTM showcase, which is happening day after tomorrow in Emirates headquarters, there's a debate contest. Please come and encourage the team members. I'm also there in the debate team. So we follow a separate debate format, that's a TMI format. This is called, again, the team is 3 people. So here there is not someone called opener, rebuttal and summarize, closure. No. everyone has to give a constructive speech. Everyone got a chance to rebut. Maybe summary is the only one, the one who opens finally gives a summary. So the format is different. So here this starts with the opener here stands up and stands with his constructive speech, his main points. Now, the one on this side, the one is against the topic, gets up and start cross-questioning the opener's topic, what his constructive speech for 3 minutes. And after that, they say, and he goes into his constructive speech based on his own earlier points and some of the questions he asked. Doesn't finish. So he has done a cross. He has given his constructive speech, and the second person from the other side is going to cross him. Now he rests. So he has done a cross. He is going to give the constructive speech, and he will be crossed by here. Then he sits up. He's done a cross. He gives the constructive speech. He will be crossed for the third person from there. He sits. He continues with the constructive speech. Third person crosses him. Then he sits. He completes his constructive. The person on the first level, here, opener, crosses him. He can sit. Then he gives a summary, and the other person gives a summary. So this is a long process. So much more challenging, because everyone here, you cannot pick specialized people and put it there. All three have to be equally good in all the varieties of vocal, all the drama, wherever it is required, it need to come. So this is a little challenging. This is the debate format of cross.
So the motion is declared before?
Motion is declared before. Okay. Then the motion is available already there in the social media. Anyone knows the motion which is coming for the debate, for the showcase, DTM? Okay. It's
free will does not exist.
Free will does not exist. Fantastic topic actually. Free will doesn't exist. Okay. Quickly, I will open up for any question and answers. I'm done with this thing. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Motion stands for subject.
No, I didn't get you.
Motion.
Yeah. Stands for the topic.
Subject.
Yeah. That's a motion, which is it's just like, you know. Okay, you have in the parliament, you have a motion. Somebody wants to pass. Okay, we need to. The rebate on diesel need to be eliminated completely. There's no need. So the motion is this. People argue, and finally people vote. So same thing. We have a motion on the floor, and then there is a team who for and against, and finally it goes for voting, but instead here it goes for judging.
So on Friday, what are the timings to attend this?
Friday it's from
It begins from 12 o'clock and it goes till evening
7 o'clock. It goes.
There are a lot of events.
There are a lot of events. You have like whatever you have seen, prepared speeches are there, the topic is there, evaluation is there, education session is there, in between debate is there. So
all by DTMs.
All by DTMs. That's a beauty.
41 DTMs.
Huh?
41 DTMs.
Yeah, 41 DTMs. It is an event actually. They are all, pretty experienced. Yeah, it's one of the. I'm sure you will see something of a different class altogether. Any questions? I just time my red light is.
I
yes.
just want to ask you a question. This takes 21 minutes, and the conventional would take.
Conventional what normally takes around
20
4.
minutes totally. This takes three.
No, it's 21 minutes.
That's all? No, it takes more. It takes more.
No, this takes more.
It takes more. The conventional one takes
It's about
20 minutes, right?
20 minutes.
Yeah. 20 minutes. This will take around 35 minutes.
So when the club contest or anything will go on, this will go on in this basis.
No, this normally we don't do it. We don't do this in the club because it takes around 35, 40 minutes.
I was just wondering what kind of time slot would you
45 minutes you need to keep for this one. Normally we don't do that.
Okay.
So I'll take one last question because the red is on. Anyone, if there is. Well, Thank you. You have been a wonderful audience. Over to you.
DTM Saju Varghese, thank you very much for this wonderful, very informative, and I believe that our aspiring speakers have an edge now. They know the format, they know the tricks, the tips have been given by the God himself. For the benefit of the guests, DTM means Distinguished Toastmaster. This is the highest level one achieves in Toastmaster's journey. Now, before we move on to the next session, you know, old habits die hard. When I was working on a ship as an apprentice, you know, the thing which we were very interested in was what was cooking in the kitchen. And the first thing, before we start getting the work from our commanding officer, we will go to the kitchen, ask the chief cook very quietly, what is there today? And whenever he says pizza in the evening,